Hello, Vancouver. It is Thursday, April the 10th, 2014. I'm Steve Ferguson, and from the dark recesses of your mind to Terminal City News. Vancouver Police Department are issuing a warning to residents of Kitsilano after repeated incidents of indecent exposures have cropped up, notably around Maple and 18th. The perpetrator is said to be someone who works in the area, is of average height, heavy-set build, brown hair, dark-rimmed glasses, a Caucasian male, and is to be treated with extreme caution. European fire ants have been making a huge splash across the lower mainland, propping up just about everywhere. They were first introduced to the continent over 100 years ago in Boston. I don't know how or why, but they just seem to sneak aboard and have since been tunneling across the continent. It has gone so bad that Burnaby Gardening Center had to be closed down, and Richmond Park, McDonald Beach Park, has issued an advisory warning dog owners to not let their dogs off the leash and wander around, as they too may be consumed by the fire ants. And I mean consumed by as in like eaten alive, as in totally ravaged and have the flesh completely ripped off them by thousands and thousands of swarming ants. It is a legitimate danger though, folks. I cannot state this enough. And we do have some footage of the fire ants in action.
The colony! Whoever has done this thing will burn. Inferno, terrorize!
I like you. Yeah.
General manager to the Vancouver Canucks, Mike Gillis, I don't know, was fired because allegedly the Canucks suck and it's his fault somehow, and he was just recently replaced by Trevor Linden because Trevor Linden is a really big name. And needless to say, I've been getting hundreds and hundreds of emails of people writing in and asking, what do I think about Trevor Linden replacing Mike Gillis as GM of the Canucks? And in all honesty, well, because most of the news is depressing, we are actually going to look at what is new on Blu-ray this week with our resident movie expert, Doug Ferguson. Let's go on over. All right, Doug, so tell us what has come out on Blu-ray this week.
Thanks everyone for coming back again. Yeah, today we're doing the special edition of what's out on Blu-ray. And first I want to cover The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. A story helmed by Peter Jackson, who directed the first Lord of the Rings trilogy. And this time, it's a story following Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit who goes on an adventure with a whole bunch of dwarves and his friend Gandalf the Wizard. And in this one, things get a little more heated up. There's less dining on tables and more swimming downriver on barrels. And I have to say that this was a very, very fun picture. I thought that it was very energetic and entertaining. A much needed step in the right direction. A little more adventure film than the previous installment, which I just felt kind of dragged. Although this one was also very long. So ultimately, I didn't really know what was going on in this picture, though. I mean, suddenly Bilbo is back from overseas. He's looking a lot younger and a lot sharper. I don't know, Gollum's here. The ring wasn't destroyed after all, apparently. And just, I don't know how all these pieces come together. There's so many questions that aren't answered in this film or the previous film. And I'm really hoping it all comes together in the third, but at the moment I'm really confused, and I don't know what the heck's going on. I thought the elves were leaving, but no, they're all hanging out still. They're just, as far as sequels go, this one's a real big disappointment, just due to how confused I am. But, I mean, at least it looks nice, am I right? Ultimately, a thumbs down for me. What did you think? Perhaps I'll continue. So, our next show is The Wolf of Wall Street. the next film from the legendary director Martin Scorsese. I've always loved Scorsese's films. This one's about a very rich businessman named Jordan Belfort who comes to the top by just being an excellent salesman, but he starts to learn ways of scamming rich people from their money, and as the richer he gets, the more drug addicted and the more sex addicted he becomes, and we see his de-evolution into a shadow of the man he once was. And ultimately, though, I do feel like this movie fell a little bit short. I was very disappointed for it being a Martin Scorsese picture who has made some amazing films in his past. But ultimately, I felt that it was depraved. It didn't really know what message it was trying to say, and I was just so full of this swearing and it was cussing and it was so crude and so revolting. I could barely watch it. I was so unimpressed with this film. That being said, a lot of full frontal nudity, so ultimately, it's a thumbs up for me. What do you think?
Now back to the news. Well, that's all the news we have for you this week, Vancouver. Please join us next week as we have Mike Gillis, former general manager of the Canucks, to explain why exactly they suck and it's not his fault.
And it's a story about the Hobbit Bilbo Baggins as he goes on a long adventure to do something with a dragon. I don't even know what his adventure's about. What does he do? Have you read the book?
It's been a long time.
Okay. I honestly don't know what it's
He goes to fight the dragon? I don't know.
Is that really what it all
Some
is about?
dwarves? I know he sees the dragon at one point.
Okay. I'll be vague. Okay.